Hello and welcome back to Datafied YouTube channel. This is a video series on data visualization, or let's say introduction to data visualization. We've had the first two parts of this video series where we looked at the first video. We talked about the introduction and what it means to visualize data using some charts, and then the second part of the video we've dealt with creating bar charts here, and we created this bar chart in the previous video. In this very one, our focus will be on pie charts. Let's talk about pie charts and how to create pie charts in Python. So to create the pie charts, I want to use the three numerical columns: total bill, tip, and size. Then we're going to be taking the sum of these three numerical columns. So let's run this cell outside. Let's run this code rather outside the cell to see the output, the expected output, and that would help give us the idea of what we're trying to do. So here is what we have done. We've grouped the data by time. So the time we have dinner and lunch, and we took the sum, the aggregate of the total bill, tip, and size. And now this is the data frame that we have. And if we run this cell, of course, since we are printing out the values, it comes in form of non-tabular, although it looks like a tabular form, but without the lines, right? That's because I'm printing it. So whenever you run whenever you perform group by function, you group your data by any given column, and you just get the output without print. It shows you as the usual data frame where the index are all bold and the column title are bold. But whenever you print it out like this, see, you don't have the line, you don't have the alternating gray and white rows, and you also don't have the bold index and the bold column title. All right, so this is the data set we're working with for our pie chart. All right, next up is to get the meal time. So I want to get the meal time. I want that to be the value. So that is the tip underscore time, which is this particular variable. So the data, the group by data is assigned to the variable called title underscore time, not tip, please. Title underscore time. Let's get call it the meal time. So title underscore time dot tip dot sort values, which means we want to get this column, the tip column, and then sort it in ascending order, so that 185.51 comes first before 546.06. Then we're taking that as the index. We're taking the index of that. All right, the index of the value, which is, we take it as lunch and dinner. Now the tips will be taking the tip itself, titled the tip dot sort values. So the meal time will contain a list that has lunch and dinner. Right, the tips will contain the values here, the value of the tips. All right, and let's run this cell. We'll use this list and this list also to create our chart. We want to plot the chart now, and I have some comments here. So plot the charts. The auto PCT argument defines the format applied to the data labels. That is, this argument here defines the format applied to the data labels. There are different formats you can give to this. Okay. Now the start angle argument determines which points in the pie to start plotting proportions from. So we have start angle 140 degrees. While the full plot documentation can be found right here. If you want to see the full plot documentation, follow this link, the matplotlib.org link, to get the full plot documentation. Otherwise, you can just place your cursor anywhere within the curve and open bracket. Hold on, press Shift and Tab key. Once you press Shift Tab, it shows you the doc string of the pie charts, and then you can read through this documentation. Shows you the different parameters that can be taken or be entered into the pie chart. You see there are lots of parameters. X, explode, labels, colors, auto PCT, PCT distance, shadow, label distance, start angle, radius, counter clock, wedge props, text props, center, frame, rotate labels, as asterisk says, you want to put all, normalize, hash, data, and so on and so forth. I can keep reading through the documentation to understand what each of the parameter mean and what type of data set it takes, and you can probably see some examples also. All right, having said that, we've already set our own parameters. We've given the tips. The tips here is the data you want to use to plot a pie chart, and the labels. The labels is the meal time, which is lunch, dinner, and we've also set our auto PCT and so on. All right. Okay, so the two fundamental parameters that you need to plot a pie chart just would be the data and the labels. When I copy this out, let's just plot it out bit by bit to see the effect of adding other parameters. When we get the plt.py, I give it the data set, the data point I would like to use to plot the pie chart, and I give it the label. This should give me a pie chart, right? So here is a pie chart. Already I have a pie chart where the lunch and the dinner are represented as different sectors of the circle. Okay, don't forget that if I do not want this output to show, like we said during the bar chart when we were plotting the bar chart, all I need to do is to add my plt.show line. Once you add the plt.show, now you see those other write-up or the outputs are no longer popping up, just your pie chart. Okay, now you will see the effect of auto PCT. Let me just copy this and add it to the parameters in the chart plotted above. Don't forget to add your comma, then you paste that auto PCT. Now once you do that, what do you see? You can see that we've added the labels, or we've added the values, the percentages of these two meal time, lunch and dinner, 25.4% and 74.6%. So this particular format is what actually helps in adding it. All right, so I'll explain quickly. We have of course you wrap it in within as double quotes, okay, single or double quotes, right? You begin with a percentage symbol and you put 1.1, means that you want just a single decimal place, right? Whatever number you give to it, dot single decimal place, and then the F there stands for, okay, I'm giving it F string, so I want it to come along with the percentage sign. That's why you put the F percentage. So this first percentage sign after the F is what is making this percentage symbol to appear. If we take it out and try to see the effects, that will give us an error, because the format you want says incomplete format. That is value error, incomplete format, because we've taken out one of the percentages, so it's not able to put up the pie chart properly. Okay, so for the auto PCT, you need to put the double percentage. All right, let's put the double percentage and take out the F. Then you see also that this will also return an error, because you still have value error, unsupported format character percentage. Why? Because you need the F to get this working. All right, so this is some of the things that you have to do to understand how to code, because you want to see error pop up so you know how to fix the error. Now let's get back our F and change this 1 to 2 and see what happens. As you can see, by the time we convert that 1 to 2, we have the 2 decimal places. Okay, 25 plus 36% and 74.64%. So this number here shows the number of decimal places. If you put 6, for instance, you have 6 decimal places, 25.357443% and 74.642551%. Okay, so let's take this back to 1 decimal place and see what changes will happen if you change this 1 to 2. Let's see what happens. So what do we have? 25.42%. So when you change this 1 to 10, for instance, let's see if you're going to 25.4%. So this is just saying, give me any number. So you use 1 to represent it. Give me any digit or any number, the number of digits before the decimal. While this other number here tells you the number of decimal places you have to put in your digit. Now for your PCT, you have to begin with percentage sign, okay, and end with F double percentage. Very, very important. So those are the syntax for the auto PCT, parameter. So I believe now you now understand what the auto PCT parameter does and how to modify it whenever you're creating your chart. Okay, so let's go ahead and include this last parameter, start angle at 140. Let's see the effect this particular parameter will have on our chart. So let's run this code, and once you run it, you see that it has changed the look of the chart, so that you have the bigger portion by the right and the smaller portion by the left. Now let's just play with this number and see how that the change we affected to the chart. So I'm changing the 140 to 60 degrees. Once you run it, can you see? So it's bringing this back to 60 degrees. When you change it to 120 degrees, 120, let's see what happens, and here we go. When you change it to say 90 degrees, let's see what happens, and here we go. Alright, so when you change this to say 100, and there we go. When you change this to say 20 degrees, and there we go. So this is just the angle, the start angle, how you want the pie chart to be placed. Okay, where do you want which sector, what direction would you like each sector to face? Just go ahead and play with this number to see the best position of where you like your pie chart, or how you like your pie chart to be presented. And then once you are satisfied, you can leave the number and then work with it. So that is what the start angle does. Very important to always try things out by displaying your code one after the other. So that's the reason why I did that. And then we have the legend. So legend is going to bring, so when you add your plt.legend, let's say lock best, let's bring this plt.legend part of the code and then add it to the code above to see the effect of that, of the plt.legend. All right, great. So can you see that? Now it's bringing it, this is a legend, it tells you that, okay, this is what lunch represents and this is what dinner represents. So even though we have already lunch and dinner by the charts, you can also add legend by, putting this particular parameter. So this loc is the location. So what's the best location? So just to give it the best location. You can change the loc, I think, to left, right, and so on and so forth. Let's see. Okay, no, this isn't working the way it should, because value invalid for loc. Best. Okay, so these are great. This is one beautiful thing about Python. So Python gives you the appropriate. So it says left is not valid. It's not a valid value for location. Now supported values are best. You can use upper right, upper left, lower left. You can use lower right. You can use right. You can use center left, center right, lower center, upper center, and center. Can you see? So any of these guys in the list, you can just pick them and use. So instead of saying left, you can add lower left, and then this should work, right? So I've gotten my legend to the lower left. I can call this, okay, I want my legend to be at the center. Okay, I want my legend to be at the center. Okay, my center should be spelled ER, not RE. Great. So this is it at the center of the chart. So I want my legend to be at the upper right. Okay, that was where it was before, right? When we used best. So upper right will bring it to the upper right part. So if you see you want it to be lower right, that takes it to the lower right corner, and so on and so forth. So let's just leave it at best, and that is where to position your legend. Beautiful. And then axis. When you say axis equal, when you add this makes the axis of your pie chart equal. Let's add it to the code above to see the effect, and there we go. So we have our equal axis, even though you can't see the effects directly, but it has made this the axis, the x and y axis of the pie chart equal, and that also affected the location of this legend. Let's convert it to what's it called again, to a comment, and then run this again to see what happens. Can you see that the legend is very close to the pie chart towards the top? By the time we allow this to become, run this code again, it then pushes this a little bit to the right and adjusts the pie chart, making it come out in a better way. So those are the different parts of this chart, this pie chart that we've constructed. When I run this once, you have the same replica of the chart you have above. And there are other parameters, other settings you can give to your pie chart, which you can always play with and see how to modify your pie chart, make it look better. All right, so that's it for this video. Next video, we're talking about pie chart versus donuts charts. So this is how to plot basic pie chart in Python, using Python programming. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I believe that everything I've explained, different parts of the chart I've explained, or the code, is very clear. So please feel free to play around with this, see how things work. Don't be scared to break codes, right? Don't be scared to see your error pop up. Once you get an error, just go to the last end of the error, read the error message, and try to, correct your code based on the suggestions that Python gives you. Okay, thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like if you did enjoy it, and share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel in case you've not done so. All right, see you again in the next one. Goodbye.